All right, what's going on, everybody? Darn, excuse me. Welcome into Locker Room Sports Show. It's Big Show Sunday, man. We got plenty to talk about. Thank you all for coming by and hanging out with me here. We're going to talk about some portal news. Is Alabama cooked? It's just kind of over, and it just is what it is. They're not going to win the portal. Shut the program down. They're not winning more football games. Like and subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up over there. We sure would appreciate it. What's going on, everybody? Jeff, what's going on with you today? Good to see you on here. Hey, look, top portal news right now. Breaking just a few hours ago. Top portal guy, Cam Coleman, is decided to leave Auburn back last week or so. He is going to be taking his talents over to the Longhorns and play for old Coach Sark over at Texas. Now, Texas finished the year off pretty well in a bowl win versus Michigan. Thought they played well. Arch looked better and better as the day goes on, and also progressed through the year. So why would you think Cam went to Texas? We could lay that out here. Hit the comments. Tell me why you think he left. Also, man, we got to talk about the quarterbacks. They're going to be coming back to the SEC. I mean, like, really, who's going to be the guys coming back next year? I mean, just kind of look around the conference and think of all the new players, all the new quarterbacks going to be taken away for our teams at LSU. Mississippi State has got a good quarterback in the Taylor kid. Arkansas is going to have them a quarterback. We got to talk about, Gunner Stockton at Georgia. I mean, Georgia, what about their NIL stuff? We're going to go through some of their portal stuff and see where they're lacking and where Georgia needs to pick up on a few things here or there. And Isaiah Horton, Alabama's only starting wide receiver to leave. Came from Miami, come here and played a year. Appreciate his efforts. He was a pretty good player. I think he led the team in touchdowns, maybe touchdown catches. So there's that. He's taking his talents to Texas A&M. Also, I think they had one of the linemen. I was talking about him a while ago. Yeah, DeBose. He's a freshman, didn't get any playing time here at Bama. He's just looking to play, don't want to wait around anymore. I get it. Everybody wants to play and try to make their own path. That's cool. He's going to be playing over at Vanderbilt. Kelby Collins, also a junior that didn't get to see a whole lot of playing times. He did play some. I think he's a good player. I'm not going to come on here. I'm not one of those podcast shows that come on here and if he's leaving the team that you just happen to cheer for, he's garbage. He's crap. He's leaving my team. By God, he sucks. I'm not doing that. I think he's a pretty good player. He's going to be going to South Carolina. Also, let's see. I think the rest of them, everybody kind of already knows. We've kind of been through this over and over and over and over. Bookham Formby also went to A&M. Him and Horton's going to tag up out there. See if he can do any better job out there and protect their quarterback. We're going to have to see who Texas A&M starting quarterback is going to be for next year also. And also Auburn ranking in here. I think they're number 11 overall right now in the portal. Their star quarterback, after losing star wide receiver to Texas, they lost their star quarterback, Deuce Knight. He will be going to play for hometown team, the Ole Miss Rebels, and Coach Golden. Be over there for playing for Ole Miss next year, stay in-house, which he was originally. I know people was going to say, where's that Notre Dame? Ole Miss recruited him heavy in-state. I know because I keep up with it. But Notre Dame offered him a good paycheck to come, and he was committed to Notre Dame for a while. And it's kind of like this. It's a relationships. That's what you have. If you stole a girl, all guys, y'all can relate to this. Jeff, Zach, Ben, everybody coming on in. If you stole a girl from somebody, like she was messing around with him to see you, it's been my advice. She'll probably mess around on you to see somebody else too. So, hey, come easy to go easy. Same thing with Horton. He come from Miami, come in, played a year, got a little money, and bounced. Any other stuff here for Auburn guys? Singleton Jr., he's going to go to play to Florida. One of the coaches, probably his main coach, his name's Marcus. Pretty good coach, had wide receivers and offense some there with Coach Freeze. He left when Freeze did and went to Florida. So I kind of felt like just knowing the guy that recruited him, talking about Singleton Jr. from Auburn, he follows the coach that kind of helped him out, got him out of a tough spot to get in there and play. Some other Auburn guys today, they got the receiver, another Singleton. They lose one. They get Keyshawn Singleton, guy to come from South Florida with Coach Golish. He's a 6'3", 220-pound guy. Redshirt sophomore. I think he could be a good player for Auburn. I really do. Now, still digging around here in portal news. The straight tyranny that we have in college sports now, and I bring that up to talk about a player that drove by Alabama, pulled in, got out, looked around, said, yeah, you know what, I'll sign up here. Hollywood Smothers originally committed to Oklahoma, even pre-originally committed to Alabama. He just kind of drives by, he signs up for class, but did not sign his NIL deal. So therefore, he's not contractually obligated to nothing. So he just drops his classes and took a trip to Texas and got a payday out there. So best of wishes to him. So, the thing is with him, and maybe y'all don't know this, and that's fine. You're not supposed to. This is why I do this. And you come on here to watch. You find out stuff that you don't know about. I mean, I keep up with this stuff. And you may know, if you kept up with him, come out of high school, talking about Hollywood Smothers, previously at North Carolina State. Now, Texas flipped from North Carolina State to Texas. Didn't flip for Bama. He never signed any deals there, never played there, so I don't really consider it a flip from Bama. But on the table, the day he recruited, and it's going to make his signing day predictions, comes on IG. He took Bama hat out first and started to put it on and did one of the things, threw it away, picks up Oklahoma, boom, going to be a Sooner. All right, here we go. Goes out there for a little bit, didn't play much, if any. I tried to keep up with him, but I lost him kind of after that. Well, he leaves there and he goes to North Carolina State. Plays out there, had 1,800 yards in the 2 years he was there, all-purpose yards, catching and running. And he decides that he's going to jump in the portal because his offensive lineman is leaving. It's been blocking for him. He goes to South Carolina. Peak, I think his last name was Peak, P-E-A-K. And Smothers thinks he's going to come by here and hang out and don't stay, don't commit, just kind of breezes by and enrolls in classes, and then goes to Texas with Cam. Now, those are facts. Now what I'm going to give you is just an opinion here. And this goes for not all schools can have this type of leverage, but Alabama still being what it is, still being a prominent brand of football. People know who they are. I think, and y'all may agree, you probably do if y'all really keep up with it, and just being real. From a macro view, not micro, not small. Well, he just come to get a bag, Matt, and I see it like Cam. He just hunting them dollars. Cam was going to get paid wherever he went. If he was going to get got, he's going to get paid. They use leverage of the University of Alabama to say he was probably going – I thought Cam was going to Texas the whole time, the entire process. I thought Tech may get him because they did spend a bunch of money on a quarterback, which they give 1% profit for life from Campbell Oil Company to the quarterback. For life, he gets 1% stock sharing in the Campbell Oil Company for Texas Tech. Then they went out and got the number one defensive tackle. So I thought, well, they may buck up here and buy Cam too. Well, they didn't. They kept the money and they bought there's in the top 12, Texas Tech's got like 3 or 4 guys. I think they bought a running back or something, bought another skill position. So, that's the question. Did Cam and Hollywood just pull up at Bama just to use them for leverage to say, well, if you don't pay us a little more, Sark, we'll just stay here at Texas. And he's thinking, gosh, no, we can't have that happen. I can't let Bama get up on me anymore. I know DeBoer's beat me, and I hadn't been able to beat DeBoer. So we got it at all costs, whatever it is. We gotta have Coleman, and they lost C.J. Baxter. He was a good tailback, guys. Did y'all not like C.J. Baxter? What's up, Zach? Did y'all not like him? I think he was a good tailback at Texas. Well, I think he'd got hurt, but he's at Kentucky. Hey, look, man, Kentucky's not doing too bad out there. I think Bama's getting used as leverage to say, you'll pay me more, or I'm going to bounce up out of here. So, what's up, Mark? The game's Deuce got in. I think he does have some power. We've seen him play against Mercer. Yeah, he's still young, but in covering him through high school, we'll talk about Deuce Knight here for a second. And then we'll ask about some more whys. For Texas, Texas didn't take any players from Alabama. They don't have anybody that started or played at Alabama is not on the roster at Texas last time I checked. Deuce playing in high school at Mississippi, watched his film, covered him when found him as a sophomore on a news clip somewhere. I think I was on Huddle. Premier quarterback throws for, a bunch of touchdowns in the game. I was like, okay, let me check it out. Then he did leave there for a while, and went to an academy school in Tennessee to play. You want to go play better competition, so that betters yourself to go be a better player, play against better competition, right? So he heads out to this school up Tennessee, talking about Deuce Knight, and from a coach that I know from around here in the state, is friends with a coach up in Tennessee that played against him, told the coach that I know that he left because it had got tough and he didn't really like it there, and he goes back to Mississippi to finish out his high school career. Now, that's secondhand words. The coach up there may have been a little jealous because he didn't get him. I don't know. And the coach told me this, would have no reason to lie about it, just because it didn't affect him at all. He's just a high school coach from right here that knows a coach that coached against Deuce up from Tennessee. So it is what it is. Now, Cam to Texas. Why? We could put whys as in, you could say, was it state taxes? They have these big tax breaks they have there in Texas. Could that be part of it? Let me pull this up, see if it's any better. Maybe worse. Y'all tell me if it sounds any better or worse without the phone. Could it be that? Bama fans maybe have to swallow a little bit of pride and think maybe – I don't think Cam was coming either. No way. I think he just used it as a springboard to show that, well, this school's interested in me. They won 11 games. They won more than you did. I went to playoffs this year, and they're going to take me, so you better take me. Is it staff? Is that the thing, Bama fans? Maybe is that something that you got to just kind of – is it staff? Grubb's inept lack of offensive capability to call good plays and to have a good equal path of offense, to have a good run-pass balance. Is that lack of the staff? Is that why maybe some of these top receivers don't come? Bama needs about 3 or 4 more receivers. So Bama fans, don't freak out. Auburn fans too. This goes kind of for everybody. This is the first year there's 105 allowed at the team scholarship level. 105 from 85. So you're going to see a lot of players just trying to fill spots to fill out a team and keep a practice squad. So, was the staff part of the problem? Alabama, some of those players looking at that, for that reason. The city. I've been through close to that area where University of Texas is. It's a nice town. There's nice mall areas out there, big movie spots. Now, this has been 20 plus years since I've been out there. I'm sure it's changed a lot, probably way for the better. It was a nice place. There's, it's not like a one red light town. Could that be part of it too? Just knowing that it's just nicer than Tuscaloosa. I know it's nicer than Auburn. I'm not throwing shade at Auburn. I'm just saying, if you've been there, and Auburn fans, y'all probably have, there ain't a lot going on in Auburn. It's not close to any interstate. You have to drive 2-lane roads to even get out there. It's just, if you like to deer hunt and fish and that kind of stuff, and probably, kind of stay a little low key. Now, there is places there, and you can hang out. That's why I think a lot of kids maybe get in trouble out there, and they have a lot of trouble with kids partying like they do everywhere. They do in Georgia bad. And we're going to look at some of their portal stuff in a minute. Could that be some of it? Just things of the city and size and the things to do. And it's just a tremendous amount larger, out there than it would be in Tuscaloosa or at Auburn. Let's see here. Trying to get the actual population. It's in Austin, by the way, if you didn't know. Austin, Texas, POP. I'm just trying to get the population size. 1 million people. Okay. And so it's a big place, 1 million people. Could that be some of it? Now here's what I think it is. And I'm going to go back to what I said before. It's not about money. Cam was going to get paid. Wherever Cam went, he was going to get paid. We all know that. Jeff knows that. What we started the show off with was that little round table topic that we'll get into in a minute. Starting quarterbacks coming back in the SEC. Auburn's not going to have one coming back. Bama don't have one coming back. But Texas does. And like as I said, the Open, Arch got better as the year went on. He even got better in the game against Michigan as the game went on. He had a good day, man. So if Cam's really wanting to get developed, the Matthew kid, the receiver that went to Green Bay, maybe, he was close to 1,000-yard receiver. I think he went first round. He had a good game against Georgia in the SEC title game, I think so, 2 years ago. So it shows that Texas could pull out and get a first-round receiver, and Cam would like to mimic that. Auburn ain't had a first-round receiver since I've been alive. Bama hadn't had one in it's been a couple of years since you had like all the Meachies and Waddles and Devontaes and all them. So could that be some of it too? To know that Cam can go play with Arch Manning, a known commodity at quarterback that's done a good job and has seemingly got better. And I know Texas hadn't won a lot of games, and they're not some big, the guys ain't won a national championship in a long time, a long, long time. Does he just want to go play for Arch? And the staff's a little better. They're more proven. Sark is definitely a better play caller than Grubb. I know Bama won more games than Texas, but what does all that really mean then? If Cam's not just hunting a bag, he's looking for a better opportunity to play with a better quarterback, to play for a more offensively minded, proven staff that has put guys in the league. And I know what Grubb and DeBoer did at Washington, but they hadn't done that here. Yes, they won some games, and I think a big part of that is because the defense kept them in a lot of those games to keep the score low enough to where the offense didn't have to score so much. That's just the truth of the matter, whether you like it or not. So portal tyranny. Cam could be gone out for state taxes. It's cheaper. Some things are cheaper for living wise, maybe for tax wise, because that taxes has to do with your money. It does. It's a more populated place. It's a nicer city. Did he not really care for the staff at some other places that he visited, Texas Tech or whatnot? Because they got smoked by Oregon. So, I mean, does he want to go there and do that? Repeat? They did buy a top. They did buy a top quarterback in Sorsby, the kid that come from Cincinnati. He threw for like 6,000 yards or something. Had a good year. So I think it's a little bit of combination of maybe all of those. Now, Texas does not repeat. Texas don't need. What's up, Coach Short? Yeah, they're going to offer him good money, but he was going to get paid wherever he went. Wherever he landed, they were going to pay him what he wanted, or he wouldn't have stayed. But yeah, he's going to get to play with a good, experienced quarterback because the SEC. Guys, think about who's coming back for the SEC quarterbacks next year. There's more not coming back than there are coming back. And nicer place. Austin's a nicer place, I guess. Things to do, stuff for young men to do or whatever at Austin than is Tuscaloosa. And I know it's way better than it is at Auburn. They ain't much around nothing at Auburn. They're not even interstate close. You got to drive way off to go, shopping or do some big things. The staff has to be a question. Is the friendship of DeBoer with Grubb, is that going to get him in trouble and he's going to wind up losing his job in next year? Because he's not going to, he's going to be there in 26. I promise you, Grubb is not he's not going anywhere. They may change some quarterback coaches. You did see an assistant offensive coach and Nick's coming in. He's going to be helping with the receivers. And they added another linebacker coach, Clements from South Alabama. But Cam wanted to go play with a good, experienced quarterback. Austin has a racetrack for F1, have NASCAR. There's known for their tech center. 6th Street is a location of all their little bars. Stevie Ray Vaughan started there, yeah. The GOAT, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Well, yeah, they're not going to fire him, though. He's going to get another year. Grubb's going to get another year to try to prove himself in the conference to see that, okay, year one experiment, yeah, we made the playoffs, did okay. You got to think that he's not that stupid, that he can't come back next year and do the same thing. But you got to know that they don't have their players of what they want to play. And from, where they were, and I know they had a lot of rushing yards at when he was at Washington. They had wound up having 2 backs, to have a lot of yards. But they're still going to have to kind of play their style of football. And Saban's guys are leaving. So here, the next part there is Texas can buy some of this stuff. Oh, by the way, the CSC, College Sports Commission, is starting investigations tomorrow. And they're already suspecting foul play in some of these teams because they all get 20.5 to spend, and anything to go around that would be these NIL deals, which it says in their rules, the NIL go was set forth in place that you can't buy a player with it, but after he gets there, you can set him up with Coach Short's sporting goods. Come on down here, Coach Michael Short here, and buy all your bats and baseball gloves and helmets and pads and cleats. They could sponsor a player from the university. As you've seen Bryce Young in Dr. Pepper commercials, where he could not wear Alabama gear or logo stuff. He wore Dr. Pepper stuff. So that's something real too. So they're going to start this week. So these big spenders, Texas Tech's right along there. I would not suspect at all of Alabama or Auburn to be in the crosshairs of the CSC to be probed into because they're coming. And you gotta be able to trust the GM. Shepard is from out west. His previous job was on Wall Street. He does understand money, and he does know what he's doing. So you have to be able to trust that. You just have to. I mean, it just is what it is. So, in allegations of spending too much money, those type things, CSC will be in play tomorrow. So look for things this week as we rally through the last 5 days. 16th, the portal will close for good. There's no more open in the portal. You better get you guys now. So Texas can spend some of that 20.5, a lot of it on some skill guys. Their offensive line is pretty set. They're not bad. They got pretty good, pretty solid offensive line. They had some trouble the year before. They kind of ironed them out a lot in 24 and 25. They've got most of that fixed, seems like. So, you can see how many guys they got leaving, how many they got coming in, that type of stuff. Go to Portal Tracker, type that in. You can see who's coming in and out for Texas. They don't have to buy offensive linemen. Bama has 11 offensive linemen right now. 11. Bama has 11 offensive linemen. People's like, it's totally bare. We don't have any linemen. We'll have any experienced linemen. If Ty Haygood from Michigan comes back to where he originally committed to Bama, then he jumped ship because his dad allegedly just kind of made him go to Michigan from what reports say. He's going to wind up back here at Bama. He'll be the only really experienced lineman that they'll have. They're going to have a bunch of freshmen. And Michael Carroll to be the only one that played last year some. It's not going to be good. If Bama can't add this week, in my opinion, now listen, most college football teams want 15 offensive linemen. That's the normal number for a big college. Georgia, Auburn, Florida, LSU, Tennessee. They want 15 offensive linemen. The problem is they're all going to be freshmen, and 3 of them are coming in this 26 class. Now, they're good. They've got, they're rated well, had good numbers in camp, that type of stuff. And they're going to learn right out of the box this style of football that's been made here at Alabama now. And I have to have faith in it. You have to a little bit. If there's not something good going on, then I would suspect, because Hill and Riley and Deere and now Crowell, 4 good backs, know more about the offense, the play calling, what's going to happen in 26 than any of us. So what I'm saying is, if there was any funky business going on, you would think that they would have already left. They would have been like, no, I'm out. This is what y'all are doing for 26. X marks the spot, and it's not here in Tuscaloosa. But I don't know. Now, you can't use Smothers as the one to say, oh, Smothers come in and saw who the offensive line coach. He was never going to play here. When he came, he was never intended to play. I'm telling you. He's one of them, man. On his signing day, he took the Bama hat, put it on, threw it away. I'm going to Oklahoma, State of the Year. I'm going to North Carolina State. played 2, now he's bouncing again. He's a bouncer. They don't have any guidance. They don't have any allegiance to nothing. He could have stayed like he's the star court tailback at North Carolina State. Why would you leave? Why? Like Horton, you're a part of the team. You're going to start and play next year. Now, C.D. Morgan's coming in. He's good. But you want to hang around and fight with a freshman? I'm sure he could. You would think Horton could beat Morgan out at practice. So there's that possibility of those things happening, and that money that's being spent, Bama's got to spend it on linemen as well as Auburn does. That's why Cam is not at Auburn. They have got to build up offensive linemen. They've lost over 30 players. They got a few guys coming back on defense, luckily. Their offense has, I don't know, a few starters on the, let's see. Besides their tailback room. Now you got Cobb and was it Washington, Mark, and then, of course, Alvin. And poor Alvin, now they got this Bryson kid from Baylor. Poor Alvin, he ain't going to get to play again probably. Alvin should bounce and go to South Alabama and play, get him some film, then, hit up another school. Because the Washington kid, the Bryson kid from Baylor, he had some pretty good yardage. He only had 50 yards rushing against Auburn last year, so I don't know why. But you need depth, man. Fans, you got to stop. Well, he don't mean really. I mean, he just restart. It's those days of having 4 or 5 stars to wait to play. That's kind of done. I mean, we've seen it progress to that every year, and it's just really getting more and more and more and more. This college football, as you know it, within 3 to 5 years, college football will be NFL Junior League, and FCS schools or whatnot, like Texas States and I don't know, even nice small schools like South Florida, for example, they'll be NCAA football. But these Division I schools, the ones you see, the top 12 this year in the playoffs, those are just going to be probably breeding grounds for a junior to come in that's played 2 years at a small school, and then he's going to come up and play his last 2 or 1 at a bigger school to then bounce to the league because there's better eyes on them there than they are at North Texas. So, other news here, Boo Carter, another one, man, played here in state for Tennessee. He's going to Colorado. What? Why are you going to Colorado? Why would you go to Colorado? So, let's see here. More portal news. Number 2 guy, Coleman to Texas. This is just on the list here. Portal news. Number 3, Sam Leavitt's still out there. He did spend 2 days in Tennessee. Lane Kiffin wanted him bad, had him on campus. And then the Williams kid from Washington, that he wound up having to stay. He couldn't breach contract and bounce after a $4 million signing from Washington. Lane dumped Leavitt to go take up for Williams, and then found out Williams couldn't come. He got on a plane and flew up to Knoxville to meet Sam when he was and leaving for visits with tenants. What have we done? So Leavitt still don't have a home yet. There's the Pete guy, the offensive tackle, went to South Carolina. That type of loss there. Now for Bama, that's a loss. Smothers not a loss. Running back room's fine. Cam was never coming anyway. They don't. Bama needs depth at wide receiver. They need like a $500,000 guy. they can come in and play. They can come in and play short yardage stuff, or just be a good second team guy. So that losing Peak as an offensive tackle, one of the top guys, and getting beat up by a guy in conference that you beat this year, it's not good. Wake Forest D tackle, big time guy. He's a 6'3", 300-pound redshirt junior. Those are the kind of guys that come in and play. He's leaving Wake Forest. Guess where he's going? This is what I told you a while ago. He's going to Texas Tech. Another edge rusher from Missouri, the Wilson the third kid. He's undecided. He was a top 15 player. The quarterback from North Texas, he was really good, man. Drew Mestamaker. He's at Oklahoma State now. Another guy, we're not sure yet, safety from Minnesota is one of the top guys. An edge rusher from Utah is headed to Michigan. And round out the top 10, Chaz Coleman, edge rusher from Penn State, is going to Tennessee. And Coach Franklin has, honestly, he's picked up some guys. There's some guys left Penn State to go to VTech, so that speaks a lot about him. Colorado guy to Arizona State. Wide receiver from Michigan State to Indiana, Nick Marsh. He was a former ESPN 300 kid from Detroit. Trey White from San Diego State to Texas Tech's got another one. That's 3 guys in the top 13. And then Brom from South Florida went to Auburn. He was ranked at 14. Josh Seaver from TCU to Indiana. Indiana's got 2 here. Another quarterback kid left Iowa State to go play with his former coach at Penn State. I'm just looking for any SEC guys here. Any more SEC? Yeah, Hayes is in the portal. The tailback from Bama that went to Michigan, he's back in the portal. Trey Richardson, a receiver from Vanderbilt, he's going to play at Louisville. It's just some SEC guys here. Isaiah Horton, wide receiver, he's headed to A&M. And, yeah, the edge rusher from Auburn, the Williams kid, he played some. He was not a bad guy. He had 10, 12 tackles or so. He's headed to Georgia. And we're still looking for James Smith and all those guys. Defensive tackle from Arkansas, the Gifford guy, he's headed to Texas. Texas now has got several. But Texas loses one of their receivers. And a running back, Hawkins, from North Carolina State, headed to Oklahoma State. Texas gets another running back. So they're going to have Smothers and Brown. So they got 2 top 25 in the portal guys. Let's see here. Overall, top guys, rosters. Looking on here for some more Rivals. See if Rivals has produced anything else. Teams. Just looking. Top guys. Oregon's losing two defensive line guys. The Porter kid, which is good, and the Sims kid, too. 2 4-stars. So Oregon losing 2 guys. So this week's going to kind of sum all that up. And, if you want to know more about this stuff, it's real easy to find. So when people are commenting and stuff on the page and saying, crazy stuff, please hit Google before you try to run into a debate with somebody. I do this stuff every day. I'm not saying I know everything, but I know more than the common guy that watches 3 hours of football on Saturday, because I'm not just watching my team, one team. I watch a lot of all of it, but mostly SEC teams, especially Auburn and Bama and Georgia and those teams. So, where Georgia's got some things to look at. You can say, well, that style of football, and he. I don't know. He's kind of getting a pass from the media. Bama's caught a lot of crap, over. Um, they've caught a lot of crap for taking such a bad loss. Well, Georgia got bounced too. I know it wasn't bad, but they got bounced too by a team that wound up getting beat. They're the cash cow for the SEC now. Kirby, they're the SEC champs, man. They're the ones supposed to be holding the flag. It feels like the media and they're just kind of like they took down the SEC championship flag out front of Georgia, like they don't want people to know they're the SEC champs because nobody's saying nothing. I mean, they got 20, 25 kids in the portal, and it's edge rushers, linebackers, safeties, defensive line, another safety, a cornerback, a 4-star wide receiver from Tech is going to move in and help Georgia. They lost Evans, their corner from Georgia, North Carolina State. Their corner Evans. That safety went to Ole Miss. They got guys going to South Carolina. The Harris kid, the safety, he's headed to Kansas. They picked up a safety from Clemson at Georgia. He's going to have to figure out – Georgia's going to have to figure out a way that you just – it's like they got Bowers. I'm trying to think of the right thing to say because it's like they got Bowers and they just think that those kind of guys are just – these just old dirty white boys are just always going to be the answer. They're going to have to go find some speed on the defensive end, on the line. They always have good recruiting classes, so Georgia's going to pull in some guys. At quarterback, I mean, we're going to talk about that. Who's going to be who's the starting quarterbacks or how many? Trying to get some kind of number. I'm going to come back on that and I mean, let's just think about it. Is Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton is assumed to return, so there's one. Joey Aguilar at Tennessee is putting in for like an injunction to try to come back and play another year. I've heard that today from Sports Talk J. Tennessee news or just college football stuff. If you want to check out somebody, the old guy is pretty good. He knows what he's talking about. Been doing it a long time. He's a Tennessee guy, but he still reports on a lot of stuff. LSU's not. I mean, Van Buren jumped and Nuss going, he's leaving. Gonna go NFL or Alabama's gonna have Mac. Auburn's gonna have the kid from South Florida. I'm trying to think, man. I mean, I'm just telling you, Pavia's gone. I wonder who Arkansas. This kid played ball in Arkansas there. It's no secret that Arkansas needs a quarterback for the 26 roster, and it has been more secretive, however, exactly who Ryan Silverfield is targeting to the room. Even if KJ Jackson or AJ Hill, both of whom were four-star recruits coming out of high school, evolve into second coming of Tom Brady, the Razorbacks need to add depth of position in case of injuries. So since Belima and Looney Jr. swooped in and signed the East Carolina transfer Keith Hauser before even they had a chance to visit Arkansas, Silverfield now focuses on the seam that they have shifted to the lower levels of college football. It's just the way it is now, okay? I mean, so Arkansas Razorbacks going to be hosting Division II standout Brandon Fuller from Angela State on Friday. He'll be coming in to, according to 24/7 Sports, also thrown their hat into the ring from JUCO All-American Trey Guerrera. Trey Guerrera is the latter of the two gunslingers emerged as possible on Tuesday, so tomorrow. So Arkansas is going to have all new stuff, man. He's also been offered by Texas Tech, Kentucky, Florida State, LSU, and Virginia this week. Talking about Guerrera. The Keller, Texas native is coming off monster season at Tyler JC, which he completed 62% passes, 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, leading his team to 11-1 mark. The Alpacas didn't lose until the following to Iowa Western CC. So there's a guy they're comparing him to Johnny Manziel. What about that? So there's Lane's got some guys on the shelf that he's looking at. That kid from USC, which he hadn't played a lot, but Jeff, we've picked Ohio State for years. It's just nearly impossible to anymore. Yeah, Pete, I kind of wanted him. I'm not missed on a running back and a receiver for Alabama. Those positions are not, they're not on the high report. He's gonna play. Now he's going to A&M. Yeah. Now I'm still looking at Georgia. Oh crap. And here's your team rankings as of today, here on January 11th. Portal ranking teams. Oklahoma State's 1, Penn State, LSU, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Texas Tech 6, Arizona State, Indiana, Cal, Louisville, Auburn at 11, Oklahoma, Florida 13, Arkansas 14, Texas 15, Missouri 16, 17, Tennessee, Colorado, A&M, South Carolina, Florida State, UCLA, Minnesota, Georgia Tech 24, Bama at 25, Georgia behind them at 26. Then you got Baylor, Wisconsin, SC, Nebraska, VTech, Northwestern, USF, Mississippi State 34, Purdue 35, Michigan State, Boston College, Houston at 38 and 39, Cincinnati, and 40 is North Carolina. I think Auburn got a tight end from North Carolina, maybe a walk-on guy or something. News for C.J. Baxter, committed to Kentucky. Told you that earlier. Baxter earned a Big 12 Offensive Newcomer of the Year. Rushed for almost 700 yards. I like that guy. I thought he was great. Thought he was going to be a super fit. A super fit. North Carolina State transfer wide receiver Noah Rogers kid is currently in Tuscaloosa. This was as of about lunchtime today. Had 33 passes, 440 yards. Y'all can look him up, take your little notes there and write him down. Zach, Noah Rogers, North Carolina State receiver. And what in the world's going on North Carolina State too? Man, they lost their top receiver, the tailbacks at Texas, their tackle is at, their defensive guys at South Carolina. Sheesh. What is up with that? Tennessee has had 21 out, 9 in. This is as of yesterday. South Carolina 17 out with 12 coming back in. Vanderbilt 13 out with 9 guys in. They're to the plus 1.3 million in their NIL value. Georgia in a negative 1.2 million at 31st ranked. 11 guys out at Georgia, 5 guys in. They had an average of 71 leaving and average 74 coming in. Now, Texas is at negative $4.4 million in NIL value. That means, by what we've looked up, that the value of players they had before was worth 4.4 million more than they have now. Auburn is at negative 7.4 million. Bama is at negative 5.3 million. So they're plus 3.7. So that's 8. That's like $10 million altogether. So their value of the guys they had before was to the positive gain of 5 million. And once you lose those guys, well, you're losing that value of those players. Any other news here? Dijon Lee is going to stay. We can find that out. And Hayes Fawcett says that Alabama and Arkansas State transfers Kelby and Drew Collins have committed to South Carolina. So there's some news on that. So Collins and Alabama and Arkansas State transfer ages Kelby and Drew. So their brothers are going to go to South Carolina, picking up more players. Just absolutely, you can't let one of your conference teams stuff you in the locker. And this is, kind of like we're kind of winding up here towards the end of the show here, so we can kind of, just get all the crap off your chest. 24/7 transfer portal. They have Texas 1, Oklahoma State 2. So some of these sites do vary a little bit. And they have Auburn at 12, Tennessee 17, and Ohio State 52 with they got 6 commits. Bama at 56 with 5 commits. And what you need to realize, too, before we jump on the train of poking it at your rival, all teams are not the same in this. Like Auburn lost like a lot of players, got a new coach. So they're going to look a little bit different. But with the Collins guys, the brothers, Kelby and Drew, you can't let an in-conference team just, stuff you in a locker over a guy that you need. Cam was never coming to Alabama. Never played a snap there. Collins, these are guys that you need. That Wolf position at Bama, Latham is at. Well, he hurt his neck last year, guys. And I had Diaz. I think he went to. I'll tell you, Zach. I think he went up north. He did. He went to. I'm gonna remember before I type it in. He went somewhere small. Because I was like, he went to Iowa. Make sure I'm right. Tony Diaz running back. Yeah, from UA Grand. Wide receiver. Yeah, I was right. I do remember that one, Zach. Yeah, I liked him. I mean, you talked about Diaz. Guys, they're a losing program. There's no way. You're Alabama. You got to be able to go out and get these top offensive linemen. Now, I ain't griped about nothing all day on the show yet. Just been reporting stuff as I see it and as it's coming in and telling you guys about it and having conversations about it. You can't. That can't happen. Oregon defensive lineman Johnson is entering the portal. Edge rusher Porter from Oregon's entering the portal. Defensive lineman Sims from Oregon's entering the portal. Oregon just had 4 guys. So there's some guys, Bama needs to fill that wolf position. So defensive line, Xandian Sims from Oregon, that'd be a guy for Bama to go get. That would definitely be a guy for Alabama to go get. No, you can't miss out on those players. We're not worried about missing out on receivers and skill guys. It's going to be pretty good. I think they're okay. Vanderbilt transfer safety Fournette. Remember him? Raiden Fournette leaving Vandy, going to Colorado. True freshman wide receiver at Oregon, Perry. All righty. And we talked about Isaiah Horton going to Texas A&M. And that, like, why? What do you – I don't understand starters. And I commented on Cameron Calhoun. He was on Twitter, and I followed him when he was at Bama. And I know he's not going to come on. I know I'll never won't get – and I just asked him, hey, help me understand why a starter leaves. You played there, not all snaps, played a lot of snaps. I thought you played good. Why? I would love for you to come on the show, and I'll send you a link, and you just tell us about the crap show that's in the locker room at Bama, because with the way it looks, well, let's take off our university glasses, our universal glasses, and put on our Bama specs. Podcasters, y'all come by, and we do appreciate y'all always for listening. If you're looking for a podcast, this is real easy to find. Just type it in on Google, Apple Cast. A lot of people's got Apple phones. You can find us right there, Locker Room Sports Talk. There's just no reason to be losing out on these guys. So what is going on? What is it? What's, roundtable topic for the day? Is there a locker room problem at Alabama? We can end the show with that. Talked about quarterbacks coming back for this 26. Not a lot. Roundtable topic. Is there a locker room problem in Alabama? Because by judging by the Rose Bowl and what I saw, and these guys coming out on the field, played hard for a quarter, shut everything down, nothing's getting by, 3 sacks within Indiana's first 2 possessions, 3 or 4 sacks. Just, I was like, holy crap, Indiana ain't going to score today. And all of a sudden, we're done. We ain't playing. We told you, Coach, we're running this show. Now you're going to pay us our money that we told you you're going to pay us, or we're done for the day. Is that a possibility? Is any of that possible? No, not all. And the ones that are making a little more money went out there and sat on their hands the second half. And the ones that are not making as much went out and tried to play hard. Look at Ryan Williams, had a good game. He was trying. You can tell when people was trying. Deontay Lawson wasn't trying. He was just trying, not to get hurt, because he's ready to go to the draft. Tim Keenan rolled it up, baby. He rolled that thing in and said, I'm done. I'm going to give you about 10 plays for first quarter and some of the second. I'm done. You wrap it up tight as you want to wrap it. I don't care. You ain't my coach, because DeBoer, like the show I did 2 years ago, I did a show on this 2 years ago. DeBoer is still right now, even with some players that these ain't all his guys. He is the stepdad. that your mom remarried. He's got some kids of his own. Your mom's got some kids, and he comes up to your room at 11 o'clock and says, it's lights out. You're not listening to him. I ain't got to do what you say. You're like 10 or 12. You're acting like children, which is what they are doing. If this is the case, I don't know. I speculated this 2 years ago in the Oklahoma game because it looked just like it did against. They ended the year the same both times. Is it just stepdad saying, I'm telling you lights out, divorce saying, no, I'm not paying you. Well, we won't play no more today then. We're just done. That's when you see guys start getting pulled out. Well, you get off the field then. Like we seen last year, showing out at the Vanderbilt game, throwing towels, throwing his mouthpiece, showing out. And they lost the game because they didn't have no focus on the team. And he wanted to be a leader, but obviously they didn't trust him as a leader. The other players didn't. This is the biggest turnover, not in size, but in news to happen any time in any of our lifetimes. We're talking about the greatest college coach of all time to leave. And this new guy's coming in. And now he's calling the shots. And they go over there and tell him what they're going to do and what they ain't going to do. And something's up at Bama. I think there's just – I'd seen one article where their GM, Shepard, was really PO'd about how the guys played the Rose Bowl and had words with some of the players and one of the coaches. He didn't say what coach. I would speculate Grubb. That's the most asinine offense play I've ever seen in my life. It's hard going from one coach and one guy brings you in to another. It's especially when it's Saban. Now, they lost 42 guys when he come in. And I think Milroe and Ryan helped keep a lot of those guys. And I think they may have done a lot more behind the scenes than what we know about. And maybe Ryan is still keeping some guys there. He's held this wide receiver room together. His guys, these guys that are left people, listen, what y'all don't know, go look and see who DeBoer recruited out of high school. They're I don't want to say all because then I'll be wrong. Well, there's one. Most of them that he recruited, they're still there. Them guys ain't left. These guys that are leaving, these 20 players, either they're portal guys they added last year or they're leftovers from Saban because the rest of them, the leftovers are graduating, like Deontay and Tim Keenan and some of those guys. I don't know if I would have to just really dig hard to find out exactly. But we know that who was the best receiver on the team? It was Jeremy. He's from Washington. The best PFF grade lineman for the year was Parker, the center from Washington. There's more than meets the eye. There's things that we don't know. And there's things that I find out, but it's just from just totally saturate myself and really looking at a lot of different stuff, talking to a lot of different people that know more than me, and then kind of putting it all together, you know? Oh, Chambliss, they wouldn't give him another year. Why? I don't know. Well, here's the thing. They're like with Ty. Of course, Ty's going to declare if he suppose this is by an NFL grader. The NFL grader said if Ty went 90th or higher in the first round, he would make more money than he would coming back. So that's what you do. That's why guys like Singleton Jr. from Auburn went to Florida, because he tested the water. They graded him. They're like, you're going to go late second round probably. He's like, well, yeah, you're going to make about $3 million. Well, I can make that at Florida. Or you can make two at Florida. Yeah, so I don't. There's something more to this than meets the eye, and there's. Well, I got one player. He something's up. I'm just saying this is the largest transition from this coach to another. I know there's a lot of coaching turnovers, but none of them won 6 titles at one school. None of those other coaches did. Franklin was one of the first pulls when they left Florida State, went to VTech. And Lane was big news. There's so many coaches. Campbell is at all these guys have left now. The Iowa State guy, Penn State, and there's so many changes. There's none like the one at Alabama. I'm just going to have to wait and see because, golly, man, and I know it's just so strange to see a team come out and play 15 minutes. We'll say 20 minutes, man. They played lights out. Mendoza was getting up off his back and scrambling, running for his life, almost to a pick. Had one knocked down at the line and another one knocked down up the field in the first 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden, I just can't believe that they quit. They're either digging for money. There's a big disagreement with some guys on the team. There may be guys, listen, when you talk to, you got to watch like the Bama Standard Network guys like Marvin Harrison, those guys, dudes that played at Alabama, played in the, like another player would like come over the sideline and beat you up. If you were slacking and he come and checked you and said, you got to tighten up and you didn't, then there's a fight. You're just going to get beat up or you'll beat him. There's going to be a fight on the sideline. Those days, those guys are saying there's some guys at Bama that are checking these guys that are slacking and they're fighting amongst themselves because some of them's trying to keep what they feel like is how you're supposed to play at Alabama because it represents more than you. It's about much more than just you, or it's about the history of the team. And to be a part of that and to be handed a shovel to dig your own path and lay your own blocks is an opportunity that everybody don't get. I think that some of these players have come in and thinking, I'm a 5-star. I'm supposed to be here. You're going to play me. And the old man voice in the room was Saban of how he could talk to them is not there as much. And DeBoer seems to be a little more compassionate kind of guy. Nick was more towards the last couple of years of his tenure at Bama. He was. Now, those first 10 or so, by God, they're up 40 and he's freaking losing his mind over there. Now, as fans, y'all are used to seeing that. You've got to get over the fact because DeBoer's not screaming and breaking his headset and breaking clipboards over referees' faces that he don't care. That's stupid. Don't that kind of stuff. You're just being a fan. Stop doing that. It just feels like there's some quit juice. And to start the year, there may have been some arguing about money and who was going to start and who's going to play. And they played Florida State, and they was like, well, y'all think y'all the coaches and y'all run it. I'm going to show you what happens. Because we go out here and lay down and lose a bunch of games. Guess who gets fired? You. We're going to go on to the league and still probably get paid. And, yeah, you probably get another job somewhere. But you strike it here at Bama, and a lot of people ain't going to want you. We'll make sure your resume ain't looking good when you leave here because the old win-loss column is what gets you paid, buddy. And guess who controls it? Ding. Me. Like Probe said on that Hoover show. Ding. I'm the one that controls it. That's when the coaches could control of how the kids and where they went. High school stuff. It's not like that no more. It's not like that no more. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's all I got for today. Yeah, we just had to go through the portal news, run through Bama, Georgia, and what's up at Auburn, guys out and coming in. So to sum it all up, I guess, is Bama cooked? No. It's just fans of that team are not used to seeing them struggle for things they want. And this new portal stuff is kind of new for everybody. It is. It's just kind of new for, well, it's not kind of, it is new. And I'll say this, it is not going to stay this way long. The Supreme Court cases and what they've done, they have formed this CSC committee. That stuff's going to start tomorrow. There has to be a shared commission part to where it's going to be a certain amount for everybody. Not the schools, but players. Like no player can make more than, $2 million. They've already changed the portal now. It's just one time. It can't stay this way because and I know you're saying, well, the players are getting paid, man, and that's what they really care about. We've already seen the NFL get – it's not better. And when that NFL and Goodell and all those guys, you're going to find out it's hurting the brand of football because it's bad. Where are those guys anymore like Matt Stafford's? Where's Derrick Henry style running back? Where's he at? Where's a guy that can, run for 2,000 yards a season? Where's a quarterback like McCarron that could throw for nearly 10,000 yards in 3 starting years? Where are they at? Where's the no Sean Marinos to Marcus Lattimore's? Where are they at? To Dyers, to the Cam Newton, Tim Tebow's don't come along all the time. Those are rare guys. I'm just talking about good, really good average football players. Where are they at? There's those generational Reggie Whites like at Tennessee. Derek Thomas is at Bama. Where's the Rolando McClain's at? Rowe was like a 3 or 4 star coming to high school. He was good, but Ingram was a 4 star. He wasn't on nobody's radar. He come on a golf scholarship to Bama. Where are those guys at? Where's that super talent that we're used to seeing? It's not there because 7-on-7 camps and high school coaches, some high school coaches have just trying to do the best with what they got. And that's all they got. These kids all summer playing these 7-on-7 camps, and they go play basketball. Then they just run in and play a little bit of football. And he's just having to put the plays in that work for the players that he has. Because if you're trying to make the players run the plays that you want to run, it ain't going to work. No, absolutely not. They don't, Ben. But where are they at, Mark? Where's those guys? Where's Michael Dyers? Where is the Takeo Spikes? Those Takeo Spikes was not super graded coming in. He was a freaking psycho. Go look up Spikes at Auburn. God, man. the Pouncey boys at Florida. Though, where are they at? If football is getting better and we're seeing much better brand of football and players, and the NFL is just loaded with talent, where are those? Where's Jonathan Allen's at? Where's he at? Where's any of those players? I'm making all this point to say it's not getting better. It's getting worse. You just seen a guy win a Heisman that didn't even lead the country in passing yards. Hell, wasn't even his touchdown to pick rate wasn't even better than Ty Simpson that finished 10th in the Heisman. He's not that good. To me, he's a third-round pick. And all the Indiana fans, and I'll get clips from this show, and I'll put them out there, and I'll get 500 comments, which is great. I love it. I make money on all your comments dogging me because I say your quarterback is not that good. He won the Heisman. So what? So did RG3. What'd he do? That fool sits at home now making freaking videos doing nothing because he wasn't that good. That don't mean nothing. If they don't cap it in the games are going to cost so much to attend, that's that people finally just going to quit going. Yeah. And Mark knows I've told Auburn fans this, if they were sick of what's going on, really sick of it, stop going to games, stop buying the hoodies, stop going to Toomer's Corner and eating around the place there and hanging out and buying the freaking Auburn hats and the sweaters and stop buying the stuff and something will happen. But where are those players? Auburn got such a bad money spot because Freeze was overpaying for all those guys. Golish and staff, they had to run the whole team off. That's how much they were paying for all those guys. They won 5 games in the past 2 years and 6 before that. They got beat by Maryland in his first year bowl game. What? It's Auburn. God darn, you can't lose to Maryland. Where are these players at? Hell, even Nick Marshall's, those guys, they're not some – oh, my God, he was a good football player. Where are they at now? Guys, we're just not seeing it. The portal is going to keep things interesting. And if you want to know more about the portal, Tuesday's show at 6, I'm going to have a special guest. For all you that hung around here late, you get to find out about this. I'm going to advertise it on the show. Look him up on Facebook, Dexter Talbert. He does recruiting for high school kids in the state. He has many kids to go play Division I and II football. Knowed him for a couple of years. Great guy. Just a good guy. But he's very honest. And I've had people message me about him saying, well, is he just being truthful? Or, I'm trying to get my kid to go next level. Well, you ask him. Now, when you ask, he's going to tell you where your kid's going to be evaluated. But he'll tell you what the kid needs to do to make it to that level where he wants to be. Now, if you're willing to do those things, they are achievable goals, but the ball is in your court. And I'll help you all I can through all my contacts. Dexter Talbert, he's going to come on Tuesday and teach all these people out here watching what the portal really is, because he does it every day. He talks to college, high school players every day. It's what he does. Dexter Talbert. I think he needs to get into. See, there's not licensed agents though for college. He would be a good one because he's a good, honest guy. And not all these agents. A lot of these kids get bad raps because they're getting bad advice from their drunk Uncle Joe. Not all kids have bad uncles. A lot of kids have their coaches from high school helping them. There's thousands of great stories that kids go to college, get their NIL stuff, get paid, go to class, and go on. We just hear about the bad ones, like Smothers bouncing. Those are the ones you just hear about because that's what makes the news. You don't hear about the regular old lineman from plays over there in Alabama or, just makes some money and comes to class and does the job and plays football. We're not going to call the school by name, but He says he knows of a 6A school here that once the season starts, they are no contact at practice. Kids are not developed anymore. Football is generally at all levels and ways. It's way better. Oh, yeah. Well, now I know from mine playing what the AHSA allows. There's only so many hours of contact. And I could ask mine how many hours of contact a week they had. I forgot. It's not much, man. Like, how you going to get better at tackling? You don't freaking tackle at practice. I never, ever understood that. And that is set apart by the rules and regulations from our AHSAA, which next week will be out of the new high school, private school alignment and how they're going to line these private schools away from public schools. And that's going to happen. Well, it depends on how he plays, I guess, Ryan, Ben. If he comes out and has a 750 to 850 yard season, 20 touchdowns, he could probably go pro. I mean, he's the cover of the college football game. He's already got NIL. Okay, his name, his image, and likeness is set. But if he comes out and kind of has a stinker of a year, another 500-yarder, he'll have to come back and play. And you better watch out because maybe not next year. CD's going to play some. Morgan from Benjamin Russell. He played at where Terrell Owens played. People in the state, not me, but have seen him play more. I've only seen him play 2 games. There's people seeing him play for years. They're saying this CD Morgan at Bama now, the freshman coming in, he's Julio 2.0. That's what state people say that watch him, that cover high school sports from Alabama and Georgia. So if you want to know more about how this portal stuff works, NIL Go, Matt, I don't really know what. So there's a thing. Oh, yeah, and there's a $20.5 million collective that colleges are allowed to spend, not on football, but on sports overall. But $15 million of it goes to football. And the $5 million gets split up for volleyball, softball, baseball, track, and swimming and rowing, and others get nothing. So what they're doing is splitting it kind of fairly, football getting a little more, and they're going around it. This is where the CSC is going to come in tomorrow because these NIL, these billionaires at Texas, you can't go get a kid and say, hey, we'll pay you $4 million to come here and pay him through a side agreement. That's illegal. You're buying players. You can go through the NIL Go and use that 20.5. But like at LSU, they told Lane, we're going to give you a $25 million bump. Well, where's that coming from? So you're saying that they're going to get their 20.5 plus he's going to give another 25. Well, where's that come from? Well, we know where it comes from. It comes from boosters. And they use their businesses to funnel money through that to the players. And they can use them in advertising and that kind of stuff, but you have to get the player first. You can't coax a player to come on buying him and then give him it. It's supposed to be you just come here first legally. But they got a lot of lawyers, I'm sure, that are keeping up with all the records that's going to make sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted. Because tomorrow it's going to happen. You may see some news tomorrow. But don't forget Tuesday. Dexter Tauber. I'm going to have Dexter on at 6 Tuesday night. And we're going to let him explain how this recruiting stuff works. What's the portal like? What kids need to know? What's real? Because he is very honest. He's a good guy. And he ain't going to lie. Now, I've heard that they have made a decision. They are going to separate for sure. But how they're going to separate them is going to be that's the behind the scenes what they're working on. All right. Let's just double check to make sure, because God knows. Alabama has received a good linebacker from B Tech, Zach. Caleb Woodson, linebacker. Another linebacker, Strayhorn from Michigan. The O'Neal kid, the safety from Mercer. The Tompkins from USC, the D lineman, good pick. Another tight end from Oklahoma State. Those are some guys that they have picked up. Go back. And any new ones for Auburn yet? They got St. Farah. He is a defensive lineman, an unranked guy, come from some small school. I can't. Is it Appalachian or? Yeah, Appalachian State. Auburn gets a D lineman from App State. He's not a starred guy. He's just from a small school. You got to have depth, guys. Don't frown on. Oh, wow, God, we're getting killed next year. You got some guys that are going to play, but if they bump a toe or turn an ankle or jam a finger, somebody's got to go in and play for a while. He may be able to play on some different packages. Andre Jordan is a cornerback from UCLA to Auburn. The Newsom kid, another tight end. He is from Howard. Okay. The Washington kid, Baylor running back, headed to Auburn. The Lachlan Hulick kid, we know about him, it's USF. They got a tackle from Michigan State. They got the edge rusher, Nate Johnson from Missouri. I think that's a good ad for them. They got about 12 USF players. Arkansas State defensive lineman Cody Sigler. And Jack Johnson, a tight end from North Carolina. I told you about him a while ago. The Gaskins kid. And all USF players. Man, there's a lot of USF players. Whew. They got all USF players except for, I got an App State guy, a UCLA guy, the kid from Howard, the tailback from Baylor, a Michigan State tackle, a Missouri edge rusher. It's 5. They did get a guy from James Madison, a tackle, Simmons, 3-star guy. There's a lot of guys. Whew. Man, I hate to know how to run all that. And Georgia. This is just final stuff as we go out because this stuff will change. There'll be somebody come in you didn't even know. Georgia's picking up wide receiver from Georgia Tech, Kanine, 4-star guy. An Eastern Carolina kid, safety, an edge rusher from Auburn, the Williams. Clemson got him. USC guy, corner, Conley to Georgia. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. I think Bama's got 7 come in. And Jeff, Ohio State, they don't need a lot of guys. They ain't had Oregon just had a bunch of guys bounce, man. As the show was going on right there, you were hearing it. Go over there on Hayes Fawcett on Instagram. That's where I find this out. And on Twitter, you just keep looking on there every once in a while. Holy crap. Sheesh. Jeff, what's Ohio State got? You got oh yeah. Zach, you remember Earl Little Jr. played at Bama? He was there. Saban's last year, he was there. Played safety. I'm sure that's him. Yes, I am right. He enrolled at 22. Yeah, he went to Florida State, remember? I liked the guy. I thought he was pretty good. He was a 4-star guy out of high school. He's going to Florida State. I mean, he's going to Ohio State. Jeff, you got Earl Little Jr. Y'all got you a portal jumper. Ohio State got a kid from UCF, a long snapper. They got a guy from UTSA. Got him a wide receiver. Jeff, you got a wide receiver from UTSA, Devin McCunn. Where's the Graham at guy at, Jeff? The top one of your good receivers. He was supposed to be leaving. Ohio Bobcats sent over a tight end. Talking about Ohio State. Wisconsin sent over a linebacker. And John Walker, a defensive lineman, come from UCF. Ohio State's got Ty Howard, a linebacker in the portal. They got a defensive lineman, a wide receiver, safeties, defensive lineman. Yeah, a lot of guys in the portal too. Dang, Jeff, I know y'all had that many in there. Shit, they just keep coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 21, 22, 23, 24. Damn. They got like 30 guys in the portal. Sheesh. But, and we know there's a bunch of 4-star, but those 4-star guys are, have been waiting last year. Like the defensive lineman, Roy, Maxell Roy, 4-star defensive lineman. 6'3", 301 pounds, leaving Ohio State. He was a top 33 defensive lineman, 9 from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, number 9. He was top 10 in Philly. He was a wrestler, posted a record of 37-8 record on the mat as a 9th grader. And then went 37-9 as a 10th grader in wrestling. Went to UCLA and come over to Ohio State. Been here since 24. Bama, there's I mean, golly, man, they got some. These are good 4-star guys. Quincy Ponder from Ohio State, 6'4", wide receiver. There he is. This is the guy I'm curious about. Malin Graham, wide receiver, 6'1", 195. Come in as a 3. He's going to portal out as a 4-star. He was the number 1 receiver out of New Haven, Indiana. He was top 50 in the nation. Dude's a burner. 6'1", 195. Great acceleration. Also plays basketball. Finished his junior year with 1,100 catches in high school. Come from A&M. And he was part of that Jimbo Fisher class, maybe. That early class he had, like 22. Ohio State's got a bunch of guys, man. There's some good players up there. So anyway, that's that. And y'all probably see a lot of portal stuff going on tomorrow, man. Yeah, Little. See a lot of guys in the portal tomorrow. That Auburn undercover guys, that's Auburn has changed their NIL to performance-based and no more money up front. Right, you can't, man. Not sure the details. Bama did that when I heard they done that. What Gaulish is doing, that's what DeVore did. Well, not DeVore. Schools have GMs now. Okay, they have. And that's the deal. That's what happened, Mark. I think with the Hollywood Smothers guy at Bama, they're not going to pay him up front. He come in, signed up for class. Like, well, I'm here. I'm ready. See, I got class. See, I got my notebook here. I'm going to get out here. I'm Alabama. Roll Tide. All right, now, let me get that money. Well, we're not going to pay you up front. Or maybe you did sign up for classes and got some money and then hit the portal. Boy, I'd catch somebody else somewhere. Let me tell you, man. I don't know about y'all, but you got to mess with my money, dude. I don't know where he's from. I think he's from Florida. I'm just saying, where I'm from, around this part of the woods, up close to Appalachian, the mountain area up here in North Alabama, that's a good way to get your nose busted. You don't say something and then not do it. It's like, who's raising you, man? I mean, what kind of person are you to say one thing and do? And it's like, well, that's just how it is. It's not for everybody. Mine don't act that way. You say something, that's what you do. Even if it's impossible to do it, somehow you make it right and do what you say you're going to do. Because when you die and that tombstone says just your name and date on it, you ain't got nothing to take with you, but your word is all you got to leave behind. That's why I taught mine. There's nothing else you can take. Your word's all you got. And for this freaking slap nut to come through and take some money and then run off to Texas, bro, ain't no way. That's the way to catch a ass whooping. That's the way you get your tail busted. You have a crack in your back and in your head. They don't roll like that, man. That ain't how you get down. And they say some big dudes at Bama. I mean, you put one of those other guys on that head here and say, hey, man, you're not coming back because we don't want you kind here. But here's what's going to happen. When you leave and go out there, first few days, I'm just saying that's just a good way to get jumped or something. And there's some rough dudes in Tuscaloosa that they don't even have to be football players. They can just put the word out on the street. You hear what I'm saying? And hey, it's 5K on this dude's head. You don't think some dude in Tuscaloosa for 5K will drop an elbow between that dude's eyes? Because these players are getting like 20, 30, 40,000 just to show up and visit. Yes. It's true. Oh, it's true. I'm just saying, man, you can't do that. You can't treat people that way. Well, guys, that's all we got for today. Can't believe it. Just hardly can't believe it, man. What a freaking joke. Show me the money. I'm trying to fix this here. That's what you got, and that's where it is, and that's where it's at. Texas does a two-step, takes out two good players out of the portal, but the CSC will be investigating starting tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. Along with that, keep your eyes on the page, and we'll have a lot of breaking news for you. And keep your heads clear and keep your hearts full of God as always. Tuesday night, be back here. Dexter Talbert will be here live in the house. He's going to talk to us about portal stuff, these young men, what they're having to deal with, and just what's really the rules and what can you really do and not supposed to do. We're going to find out. Y'all come back and hang out with me.